Hi everyone, welcome back to the Howard Kitchen. It's so exciting here, especially as the girls are getting ready for bed. So I apologize if one comes running in to say goodnight. Maybe they won't, we'll see. We are moving on to Geometry Week 2 Tuesday, also known as Day 2. We're switching gears quite a bit. We're leaving polygon land and we're going into some parallel line discussion. We're going to avoid proofs. You're welcome. Go ahead and jump for joy now. But we are going to have some diagrams that you have to sketch out. So I'd actually recommend that you pause right now and go ahead and draw these on your note paper. If you're still that person who says, I'm not going to draw it, please draw it. And will you also please go grab a crayon or a highlighter or a different colored pen or a colored pencil. These are the days when I love class in person more than I usually do, because I hand you boxes of crayons and I get to see how excited you get for the opportunity to color a little bit in class. A highlighter will work out great. I have kids who use that all the time, and you'll see me using a highlighter. So the conversation today, after you pause and at least draw these first two diagrams down, the conversation today is two parallel lines cut by a transversal. And our first angle relationship that we're going to talk about, and we'll talk about three over the next few days, but the first one is alternate interior angles. It's not a foreign word to you, alternate interior. It is an angle relationship that you did cover in middle school in 8th grade with your teachers there. But it's been a while since you've been there, so it's okay if it flew the coop. But here's what we're looking for. We're looking for two parallel lines. Remember that these symbols here mean that the lines are parallel. If there's a single arrow and a single arrow, they're parallel to each other. Okay, if I had a different pair of parallel lines, they would both have double arrows if they were going in completely different directions, but together. All right, and what I'm looking for is the letter Z. All right, I always put that little cross on my Z because otherwise my Z's look like my Z's. So we avoid that at all costs. And so here's what I always do. I grab my highlighter and I highlight the two parallel lines and the line that connects them. That's called the transversal. And you see that lovely Z there? Put your crayon or highlighter down at this point and we're going to put angle marks, arc marks in those. Those angles are congruent and they are alternate interior angles. So alternate interior angles are congruent. That means they have the same measure. That means if I have some expression in there like 2x and 5x, I can set them equal to each other and solve, or 2x plus 20 equals 5x. All right? And the other one, my parallel lines are in a slightly different place, but I gotta grab my highlighter before I grab my pink. I can do. There they are. And they're always in the little crook of the Z. All right, so they're wrapped around by the Z. So both sides of that arc mark are touching one of my highlighted sides. All right, so you'll want to pause here and sketch these three. I think I can move me up, down. Yeah, I'll have to move me down, I guess. I apologize for that. I've got three lovely shapes here. Please make sure, at least on your paper, that the parallel lines look to be parallel. All right. And I always start by highlighting my parallel sides. And then you have to connect a transversal or a segment that is connecting those, or highlight one of the segments that's connecting them. On this one, you have two choices, from left to bottom right or from bottom left to upper right. Doesn't matter to me. Our Z's can be upside down, backwards, forwards, mirror images. They're all over the place, but it's got to have that little ziggity-zaggity Harry Potter scar, okay? And remember that it's wrapped around on both sides. So let me grab red. There are my alternate interior angles. Now, if we had some values in there, like 30 and 5x, if it asks you to solve for x, we have to remember alternate interior angles are congruent, means they have the same shape and size. Angle measure is going to be the same. So we can just set them equal to each other. How would you solve for x when you have 5x equals 30? My pen is revolting. 30 divided by 5 leaves me with 6. All right? So when it comes to identifying the angles, grab your crayon or your highlighter, whichever you have. I'll go to blue. No, I won't. If I go to blue, we won't be able to see it. Purple. So highlight your parallel lines first, and then find the transversal that would make it into a Z. I have 3 lines connecting them at this point. Don't do what I do because I can erase a lot easier, but if I connect them there, does that form a Z? It does not. If I connect on the bottom segment, does it form a Z? No, it makes some weird C, which we'll talk about eventually. I need to highlight that diagonal. And then my alternate interior angles are there inside the little angles of the Z, if you will. And let's say that this one is 3x minus 90, and this one is 2x minus 30. It's been a long time since we've been together in class, but I'm hoping you still have your ability to solve equations, even though we haven't had to do so lately. You know that I would always suggest you move an x first if you don't have x's all together, if they're on separate sides of the equation. Do you have to? No, just whatever you do, make sure you keep it balanced on both sides. And then to get the x by itself, and you end up with 60 this time instead of 6. And the last one, again, with your highlighter, with your crayon, highlight those parallel lines, the ones that are marked as being parallel, and then choose the transversal that would make the letter Z. All right, so you need it to ziggity-zag. Not this one because that makes that weird C again, but this one instead. And then grab your pencil, not your pen, I'm hoping you're using pencil. And I need to grab my pen. There we go. And mark those angles inside as congruent. Those are your alternate interior angles. Let's say that this one was marked as 50. And let's say that that bottom one is marked as 2x plus 10. Since they're alternate interior angles, they are the same measure. So I can do 2x plus 10. I cannot read my own writing there because it ran into it. Equals 50. You've got some lovely solving to do. And hopefully yours agrees with mine at 20 degrees. All right. Go into your assignments, find unit, sorry, we're not in units anymore. We're on week 2, Tuesday. So go find it, attach it, send it to me, and I will get back to you on how it was and let you know if you need to fix anything. All right. Have a wonderful night, wonderful afternoon, wonderful day, whatever it is. Hope all is well.